Hey YouTube, Longboys Post 975. It's been a while since I've asked a question. I got asked a really cool question in the PM this morning. A hypothetical question. I do like hypothetical questions. And it was from someone who watched me when I first started this channel, which is 2 years, 3 months ago, and they haven't watched my videos for a while, and then they came back to watching them, and they said it was kind of interesting to see the difference in me, or the content on my channel as well, I should say, from where I am right now to where I was then. And they asked a really interesting question, at least I thought it was a really interesting question, which is why I want to ask you, which is, if you could take, I really need to learn where to point, if you could take everything you know, or everything you've learned from having a YouTube channel, and then give it to yourself, or give you some advice to the you when you first start on YouTube, would you? And I thought that was a really cool question, because I guess those of us who've done this for a certain amount of time, I don't know what certain amount of time that is, because obviously it's different for everyone, but as I said, I've done this for 2 years and 3 months. I guess as long as it's taken for you to be aware or see a change in how you are, in your videos, or what the content is of your videos, or what you're comfortable with doing on your channel now as opposed to what you did when you first started it. And I kind of like that. I really like that. And also, if you take it outside of YouTube, there is that interesting aspect, which is, like with school and stuff, if you could take the mindset of an adult with everything you've learned and done, that you just wouldn't have as a child, could you get, and give it to yourself as a child to ace exams and stuff like that. Kind of like that aspect. So, because I think if you've done this for a certain amount of time, then you will be comfortable with what you're producing, with where you're at, whether it's video games, it's questions, it's commentaries, it's pickups, it's whatever. I think you would have found your niche. Whether I look back upon this video now, in a few years' time, if I'm even doing this in a few years' time, and years' time, and think, yes, I'm comfortable with that, who knows? I might be embarrassed by this. I'm certainly embarrassed by my early videos. Go and check them out. Seriously, you'll laugh your ass off. But I'm going to keep them up there because they're important. They're a part of this process that I've been doing when I started a YouTube channel. I've never done this for any other reason than it's a hobby. I enjoy doing it. It helps me relax. It helps me unwind. It's something nice to do if you've had a bad day at work. It's never been about being popular or anything like that. But I can honestly say, if I look at my content now, I can see a big difference between it and where it was. So it is interesting in the sense that if I could talk to myself back then and say, hey, by the way, this is where I am now, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, you'll hit the floor running. That sounds really arrogant, but you know what I mean. So would I? Would you? I can honestly say no, I wouldn't, because I think it's important that, when we first start doing this, we're fumbling in the dark, at least I was. We have no real idea what we want to do. We look at other people, we get inspired, we think that's really cool, I want to do something like that. That's natural, that you want to emulate others. But as you go forth and go on, you will kind of, you will find your own way. You'll go, well, that doesn't work for me, I'm going to try something else. And eventually you become, this sounds terrible, the master of your content. That really sounds bad, but you know what I mean. You basically find your comfort zone. So I think it's important that you don't bypass that, not that you could, because it's a hypothetical question, but what I'm basically saying is a journey is a wonderful thing, because who I am now would not be the same if I could have skipped all of that. If someone could have told me everything I did that was a mistake, or bad equipment, bad editing, bad topics, bad videos, embarrassing videos, the inability to talk in front of a camera, being shouty. I said, go and check out my early videos, you'll see what I mean. I think that's important. I think that's what shapes you. I think who you are right now, or who I am right now, at least on this channel, is because of every mistake I've ever made. To make a mistake is absolutely 100% natural. It is. It's nothing to be ashamed or embarrassed of, as long as you're not being an asshole, as long as you're not being offensive, derogatory or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with making a mistake, because a mistake has a wonderful, consequence, or repercussion, or result, or resolution, I should say. I'm really waffling. I'm tired. I only got just back from work, very recently, because you learn from it, and the fact that you learn from it is productive. It's positive. It moves you forward. So to basically say bypass all that and go, this is where you are right now, you know, this works, you should do it now, or this is where you are, you know, in the future, whatever, this is what you should do right now. I don't think it works like that. I can honestly say, if I didn't cock up all those times, if I didn't fumble my way through the dark, if I didn't struggle to get my head around editing and stuff, I'd say editing, my editing's crap, but you know what I mean, if I didn't deal with everything that ever happened because I was enjoying a hobby, then I don't think my content would be the same now. So the question is an interesting one, at least to me, and I'd love to know what you think, if you even, you know, ever thought about this, which is, if I could take everything I know about having a YouTube channel I have now, you know, 2 years plus in, would I give it to me when I start this journey? And I can honestly say, no. Absolutely not. You know, I've done some horrendously fucking embarrassing things. I've ballsed up, I've talked about stuff that I had no right to talk about. But at the same time, everything that I've done has led me to this point now, and I absolutely would not change that, because I think it's important that you experience it. If that makes sense. I don't know, am I waffling? What do you think? If you could, would you? Love to know what you think. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.